And he just told me one day that he loved me, couldn't live without me, and then we've been together ever since.
So now we know Remy and Papoose as black love couples. We've been knowing that for years. Pap held Remy down while she served 6 years in prison.
It all began with a single post, swipe, caption, and late-night upload that went viral on the internet. The self-described Queen of the Bronx, Remy Ma, exposed what she called the decade's treachery by using her Instagram page as an evidence board. World champion fighter Claressa Shields was seen messaging Papoose in screenshots. She had previously established her kingdom of black love with her rapper husband, Remy. The messages sounded more than just intimate. They sounded helpless. Shields allegedly wrote, "You're the one who is married. It shouldn't be a huge deal to let me know you made it home safely if you can't at least sleep with me over the phone or in person." The idea of the GWOT, the greatest female fighter of all time, pursuing responses from a married guy, struck a profound chord with her.
Open for battle rap.
Is there
Gangsta gossip.
Is there a rap battle podcast? Y'all ain't.
Remy did not refrain. The shiny illusions were broken by her caption. While sleeping in the very house he refused to leave, Papoose had dozed off while talking on the phone with Claressa. The boxer hung up as soon as she heard my voice, which the rapper made fun of. The screenshots went viral in a matter of hours. Suddenly, the unbeaten Olympic gold medalist and Hollywood film subject Claressa Shields was more than simply a fighter. In the long-running hip-hop marriage, she was the purported other woman. By dawn, the gossip websites and the sports world had united into a single, breathless ecology. Did Shields voluntarily enter Papoose's storm, or was she merely caught in it? According to others in Remy's inner circle, she had suspected that Papoose had been spending late nights with Shields since their February trip to Hawaii. At that point, pictures of the rapper and boxer grinning by the shore appeared. Papoose appeared carefree while wearing Timbs and their socks on the sand. Although the caption appeared benign, there was more going on behind the filters. According to reports, Remy's squad had been waiting months for this.
With you, I don't know where your fiance was at for you to be able to fall asleep on the phone with another married man because he's not divorced yet. And then demand that he check in with you and somebody else is already over his social security number. That you would mess up your own household. And I'm like, so how does it...
The story changed when Shields retaliated against X the following day, showing how a woman with 2 boyfriends was upset with a man who had a girlfriend. She posted a clean jab with the accuracy of someone accustomed to landing hits, and it drew blood. Shields wasn't merely defending herself. She was accusing Remy of being hypocritical and bringing the long-rumored relationship with battle rapper Easy the Block Captain to light. For a moment, it was unclear who the true villain was. Remy, who supported her partner while incarcerated and developed a reputation for loyalty, or Claressa, who appeared to believe she could subdue a man who was still legally bound to someone else. At that point, Papoose decided to fight. He validated everyone's suspicions on December 12th, but nobody anticipated him saying it aloud. He desired to leave. He stated, "I have repeatedly asked for a divorce," calling Remy a narcissist and accusing her of cheating. He didn't end there. Papoose posted a time-stamped picture of Remy and Easy curled up behind a Christmas tree from the year before. Heartbreak and retaliation were mixed in his caption. Remy apparently got caught up with another man when he was spending the holiday at home with his kid. To exacerbate the situation, Pap asserted that he had rendered Easy unconscious after the battle rapper's handshake before moving behind his back. The internet was unsure whether to laugh or grimace at the disorganized details.
Messy. More on the Remy, Pap, and Claressa trio. We reported on it yesterday, but things started to escalate.
However, Clarissa's role in the triangle became increasingly unclear. People saw that she was acting on her relationship rather than merely protecting it. She challenged Remy to an official boxing battle on February 2nd, uploaded her own clapbacks, and threatened to beat her up. What started as a rumor of an affair had evolved into a possible pay-per-view event. In the background, Shields was also fighting a suspension due to a trace drug discovered in her system during a standard examination. The optics were poor, even though a follow-up sample cleared her identity. She appeared careless, according to critics. It was referred to as a smear effort by supporters.
I be bored responding.
Tasha K., the blogger who lost a multi-million-dollar defamation lawsuit against Cardi B, saw an opportunity at that point. She said that Papoose had persuaded Shields to use recreational herbs while on vacation in Hawaii, and she dropped what she called exclusive receipts. Before her team walked it back, arguing the wording was too sloppy, the post went viral on her site. It did not amuse Shields. According to reports, she threatened to file a defamation lawsuit and delivered a cease and desist through her attorneys. Later, Tasha issued a public apology, but she went so far as to refer to the boxer as both a champion and a side. By then, Claressa was furious, and even her apologies were tinged with negativity.
It's telling me that this is the reason why she started doing what she was doing, because you wasn't paying attention to her, you wasn't loving on her, you wasn't buying her flowers, you wasn't spending time with her, which I don't believe. And then you had the audacity to beat her.
The irony cannot be disregarded. A warrior who had been educated to remain composed under duress appeared to be encircled from all directions, assaulted by a legendary rapper, mocked by a powerful gossip figure, and humiliated by a man whose loyalty was already in jeopardy. According to insiders, Claressa believed Remy had been planning the public takedown for weeks, waiting for Papoose to make a mistake. Even if that's the case, it still doesn't explain how Jada, her closest ally, ended up disclosing the most intimate information to date. Jada was more than a buddy. She had been a member of Claressa's inner circle since Flint, so she was family. Nobody thought it would stick when she began speaking with Tasha K's producers. The recordings followed. In them, Jada accused Shields of fighting while pregnant, lying about several unfulfilled pregnancies to maintain her profession, and being duped by her coach. The accusations were harsh, unsubstantiated, and nasty, but they quickly gained traction, portraying Claressa as a lady with something to conceal rather than as a victim of rumors. Sports insiders swiftly retaliated, pointing out that female fighters with licenses undergo extensive testing before competing. However, once a scandal gains traction, it is often impossible to contain.
Shields, the one that Remy Ma is fighting with, okay? Who's seen as a goody two-shoe girl, who has endorsement deals, who's the #1 fighter in the world, who people are raving about, okay? And paying attention to, including Remy's husband, because Remy and Papoose are still married.
The leak was referred to by Tasha K as tea you can't unspill. Suddenly, the conflict between Papoose, Shields, and Remy seemed insignificant in comparison to what was currently happening, because it would cast doubt on Claressa's career, titles, endorsements, and even her impending biography if Jada's story were even partially accurate. Fans had stopped arguing about who had cheated on whom by the end of December. They wanted to know what type of secrets a world champion could maintain while posing as the embodiment of discipline. Remy remained eerily silent behind it all. Papoose continued to publish mysterious captions about the triumph of truth. All of this was refuted by Claressa's team, which described Jada as a resentful former friend seeking attention. However, matters were made worse by the quiet surrounding the specifics, the coach, the purported pregnancy, and the date. Because adultery was no longer the only aspect of the story, it dealt with devotion, treachery, and the peculiar brittleness of celebrity. The question becomes more sinister when your inner circle begins to profit and more insiders suggest that Jada wasn't acting alone. Was someone planning a full-scale takedown from within Claressa's own group? Or was she just caught in the crossfire?
Video this morning. I was so excited to get up and just spit it out. There was one key detail, two key details that I got wrong. First of all, I put Claressa up. Let me put some respect on Claressa. I am not a sports girl at all. I don't even pretend to watch sports. I'm not that girl that ever pretended to watch sports or anything like that. And so I don't know who's who.
Tasha K was the target of Claressa Shields' defamation lawsuit. It was obvious that she was battling for control rather than merely gossiping. The filing was made just 1 week after Tasha's disorganized apologetic video in which she hailed Shields a champion while laughing in the middle of her sentence. Court insiders claim that Shields' team served documents accusing the blogger of deliberate emotional injury and willful defamation quickly. However, it didn't appear to be confident to many onlookers. It appeared to be desperate. We can't help but question if a fighter is using attorneys rather than the ring to clear her name or to conceal the aspects of her narrative that no statement can address.
About Papoose allegedly putting his hands on Remy. I don't know if it was before or after the affair that Remy had. The reason Remy said she had an affair is because Papoose was neglecting her needs, and so that's why she fell into the arms of his younger brother. Timu Pap.
Online investigators discovered what looked to be an early draft of Tasha's removed post in a matter of days, one that brought up hidden pregnancies, clinics, and coaches. That wording seemed disturbingly similar to what Jada, Shields' old buddy, was saying. The actual implosion started there. Jada transformed from a devoted confidant to an unrelenting informant, releasing a number of audio clips that depicted Shields' life as something from a soap opera about sports. She accused Claressa in one tape of battling during her pregnancy and going 3 days without eating to gain weight. Another suggested that a veteran instructor had acted inappropriately, claiming that the boxer's early career was molded by silence and manipulation. Although we are unable to confirm those claims, the timing of Shields' legal team's pursuit of Tasha K gave the impression that someone knew exactly where to strike in revenge.
Possibly could be the relationship there. But yeah, Remy outside the courtroom, standing on business, and she's there, she holding her son down.
Industry insiders close to Jada characterize her as strategic, yet heartbroken. She did more than just spread rumors. She submitted it to sites that would ensure its popularity. By the end of that week, the story had moved on from whether or not Shields had smoked in Hawaii. It was about whether or not her whole public persona was crumbling. While the gossip circuit remained silent, major sports outlets did not. Sponsors started to halt ads when hashtags, referring to her as the fighter who can't control her corner, began to trend. That kind of doubt is poison to an athlete whose brand was founded on empowerment and discipline.
Weren't together. If they were separated and Pat was with Claressa and Rem was with homie Easy, I don't understand why it even came to a head yesterday. Because it seems like they knew.
Papoose, meanwhile, was refusing to let the attention leave him. Pop retaliated with what he claimed to be evidence as Remy Ma intensified her claims of domestic strife. A series of voice messages and an alleged 911 call from neighbors who said they heard yelling coming from Remy's house last summer. Although we are unable to verify the existence of the call, the leak was sufficient to change the public's perception. All of a sudden, Papoose's STML was no longer the unfaithful spouse. He was the victim of injustice, regaining his tranquility. He also subtly insulted Claressa in the midst of all that commotion, implying that some people become engrossed in things they don't comprehend. Fans interpreted that as a carefully veiled jab, suggesting that Shields had been thrown into a marital crossfire for which she was unprepared. Shields' management allegedly advised her to sever ties with Papoose entirely behind closed doors. A public relations expert who wished to remain anonymous told us that her camp was afraid of association fatigue, too many headlines, too much chaos, and insufficient control. However, many close to Shields maintained that she was still emotionally invested in him and that she thought she could make him better. Nobody knows if that's ego or loyalty. Those in charge of her sponsorships are growing impatient. It's not only love on the line when your sponsors stop returning calls, it's your livelihood.
They reportedly, he held her down for 6 years while she was locked up. She's reportedly messing with a younger battle rapper right now.
As all of this was happening, Remy Ma reappeared, taking on the calm role that few had anticipated. She started tweeting cryptic statements about the truth constantly emerging after weeks of angry rants. Suddenly, she posted old videos of herself and Papoose performing together with the comment, "Real love doesn't hide." Was it strategy or nostalgia? Some believe she is preparing a revenge story that portrays her as the survivor of deceit rather than the rejected lady. And the public appears willing to believe her for once, because Remy appears cleaner in contrast to Claressa, who is battling lawsuits, betrayals, and the ghost of a marriage she didn't belong in. Jada wasn't done yet, though. One evening, she went live and said, "I warned her. If you can't tell the truth, you can't be the best." Her comment section blew up for hours. Supporters demanded evidence. Claressa's crew became silent when reporters played back the footage. In the era of social media, silence speaks louder than admission. We can't help but observe that the more Shields uses attorneys to gain control, the more pieces of her personal life come to light. The defamation lawsuit, which was supposed to shield her, now appears to be an acknowledgement that the rumors were too personal.
Remy Ma got into a courthouse altercation with the daughter of the man her son allegedly murdered.
Subsequently, the narrative took a different turn that brought it out of the blogosphere and into the courtroom. According to Michigan sources, Shields' legal team filed a motion to conceal parts of her defamation case, citing private, sensitive information that was not relevant to the public. There was immediate criticism of that action. Some speculated that the sealed paper might contain communications with her coaching staff, while others referred to it as an attempt to conceal evidence. Again, this is unsubstantiated, but according to tabloid logic, secrecy always breeds suspicion. Every door she attempts to shut merely makes the throng outside lean closer. Papoose continued to post like a man on a redemption tour while all of this was going on. He posted family images, inspirational sayings, and subtle barbs at phony ladies posing as real. "Loyalty isn't a belt you can win," one caption said. "You live with it as a habit." That was the most bizarre coincidence of the year if it wasn't aimed at Shields. Remy, on the other hand, kept implying that she still had other receipts, including messages in which Pap pleaded with her not to go public. Regardless of whether those are present or not, her ability to control herself has become her greatest asset. Remy's quiet seems wiser each time Papoose or Claressa speaks.
I went through, one of the guys said, "Hey, you can't bring this in." I mean, this is a skeleton key. He said, "Hey, you can't bring." I said, "All right, cool." He said, "What you want to do with it?" I said, "I don't care, throw it in the garbage."
It gets more difficult to distinguish the battles taking place in the ring from those taking place behind the screens as this goes on. Control was the foundation of Shields' empire. Excellent photograph, excellent timing. She appears to be improvised in every way. She might not prevail in a defamation lawsuit. She is unable to hush her pal, a boyfriend who consistently modifies history in public. The woman who used to take great pleasure in her unbreakability is now vulnerable in every way. Now sports fans are wondering if she will even show up for her next scheduled fight. She continues to train, both formally and informally. She's exhausted, preoccupied, and surrounded more by lawyers than trainers, according to gym insiders. Her Hollywood biopic, which was once her career's high point, is no longer in production. Uncertainty bothers studios, and Claressa Shields is the living example of it at the moment. Even triumph begins to feel like damage control when your headlines are about litigation rather than titles. And that leads us to the most unsettling reality. The court of popular opinion has already rendered its decision, regardless of the legal winner. Remy Ma appears to be saved. Papoose appears sympathetic, but complex. As usual, Tasha K leaves with more clicks than repercussions. Additionally, the champion who could outpunch anyone in the world, Claressa Shields, is discovering that a knockdown does not destroy one's reputation. Whispers, screenshots, and friends who stop taking calls cause it to fall apart piece by piece. Because at this point, we must consider if Claressa is battling for justice or only the inevitable. She believed she could outsmart the drama. However, the world is scrutinizing your every move, your boyfriend's ex is out for blood, and your own friend betrays you. The true struggle is for your reputation, not for a title, and she's losing at the moment. What are your thoughts? Is Claressa Shields the mastermind behind her own demise, or the victim of betrayal? Tell us in the comments. As usual, keep an eye out, because in tales like this, the truth never remains silent for